Right now, somebody is hating on you, and you and me. That's what we gonna tell them. Get it. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. Does it matter what they say about me? Cause I know God don't play about me. Rumors don't matter if they aren't true. The reason they mad is cause they aren't you. They aren't blessed, they aren't highly favored. They're just jealous that somebody made it. Words may hurt, but it didn't kill. And you can't break what you didn't build. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Let the hatred feed your inner beast, but always keep God as your centerpiece. What that mean? You gotta be in B with it. Always. Don't stand for nothing, then you need to sit and watch the real soldiers take a risk. If you relate to this, then homie, make a fist. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. If the keyboard is crazy and the drum pad is kicking, you can pass me the mic. I'm about to start spitting. Will they love me, feel me, relate to me, lyrically, hate me, despise me, corrupt inside spiritually. It's the times that we're living in. No selling my soul, there's no giving in. I ain't waiting on a Judas purse. Trained till the arms are bulging through the shirts. Get the picture, that's what cameras do. Protect what I own, I got hammers too. Prefer peace and I'm praying on it. Club Shame, let Damon weigh in on it. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Knowledge and wisdom helps you free yourself, and success will find you, so be yourself. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I need y'all to say that every day. We on a whole different stratosphere. We don't give a damn what the haters say. Yeah, I'm out. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? Her name is Babylon. I call her Babs for short. She has a lot of lovers. She lets them pass her port. She has a love affair with every foreign nation. She has a favorite wine. Its name is fornication. She has a purple robe. She has a pearly necklace. And if you worship Caesar, she'll give you worldly blessings. She's insatiable. She cannot hide her passion. Last week, somebody said she rides a dragon. I know it's crazy, but the question is why she had to put a crown upon its 7 heads. And it's even deeper, I had to peep the madness. She made war with the saints that tried to keep commandments. And since she killed the righteous and won't let me be, when she burns, it won't be from an STD. Bodies everywhere, both man and beast. And on that day, the birds are gonna have a feast. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? name is Babylon. The girl is such a mystery. Yeah, she's been that way since we were little kids. She nicknamed me Mark like I was 666. She said, you want my number? I said, you high as hell. She said, you need my number or you can't buy or sell. She said, take my number. I know that I can't make you, but I'm espoused to Christ and I'm staying faithful. Isaiah had a vision. He saw the elevation. Jesus preached the gospel. John had a revelation. Her lovers hated Babs, so they burned her up. What's upside down? The Lord could always turn it up. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? I'm telling Babylon. 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 I'm telling Babylon.
Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakotka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Latananawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Chaubwatnawa, Kasalachnawa, Chaubwatyanawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapa Arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. Another Thursday. Welcome back. All praise and glory to the Most High. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatham, Washamaratham. Hope everybody having a good week. Remember to tune in tomorrow for Friday's class for Detroit. I'll repeat it again after this class. And Saturday for a priest class. Well, I don't think priest is doing it this week, but we'll see. I believe Elder Zahab is doing it. So anyway, all praises. So this class is going to be pretty simple. There's no hiding, right? There's no hiding. There's a lot of stuff going on in America, you know, that we see all the time. And and some people believe that, you know, that they won't receive judgment. I don't know what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? Even in the chat, a brother asks, you know, what's up with this Gentile salvation? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and everybody's gonna see it. Everybody's gonna see judgment. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna kind of touch on that. You can't hide. You know what I mean? You can't hide. Right? So let's just cut right to the chase. Let's get to it and get through this class real fast. All right. So we're going to start off right here. There we go. All right. Can y'all see this? Let me make sure y'all can see it. All right, cool. We're going to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 10, right? It says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad, right? So everyone is going to appear before the judgment seat. All right. So, like the brother asked, as far as Gentiles go, you know, they reap the benefits of their forefathers, right? They reap the benefits of their fathers. You know, we are caught in slavery, brought over here to a land that we didn't know, nor our fathers knew, so on and so forth. And they reap the benefits of it. I don't know why they think that they're not going to see judgment. It's not a thing. Like, you're not hiding from it because now you say that you believe in Yahweh Shai. No, that's not a thing. Remember, salvation is of the Jews. So it's not even for everyone. So you're definitely going to see the judgment, right? Let's get another one. Let's go Jeremiah 23. I don't know what I be typing sometimes. Jeremiah 23 and verse 24. Jeremiah 23 and verse 24 says, can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Saith the Lord. Do not I fill heaven and earth? Saith the Lord. Right? Most High is omnipresent. Right? Does the Most High have to come down and cause damage himself? No, he has angels and stuff like that, right? Remember, he's the Lord of hosts, which has to do with the army. So he has ultimate power to tell these angels and so forth to do this job, to do the works for him. You see what I'm saying? Remember, the Most High is commander in chief, right? Let's go Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. It says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Right? So this is specific to Esau, so the Edomites, right? And we know what happens to Edomites, and we'll get to that later on. But there's no hiding, right? And we're going to go more into detail of what I mean by hiding. All right. We're just going to go through a couple precepts and then we'll get to it. Let's get the book of Job, chapter 22, and verse 13 and 14. Book of Job 22 and 13 says, and thou sayest, how doth God know? Can he judge through the dark cloud? Thick clouds are covering to him that he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuit of heaven. Right? The circuit of heaven, let's go to the Hebrew. Circuit of heaven is to compass, right? So basically it's saying that the Most High, you know, he's amongst everything in heaven, right? But people have this idea that the Most High is not going to see everything that you're doing or know about everything that they're doing. You're not going to hide anything, right? We understand that. Now, other people might not understand it, and that goes for some of Israel too, you know, because some of Israel doesn't actually know that they're Israel. You know what I mean? So they go about life and everything in a Christian manner, you know, as far as Christianity goes, you know what I mean? And they believe they could be on a deathbed, lived a terrible life, hid things from everyone and everything, and just ask for forgiveness, and then it's done with. You know what I'm saying? And now they have rights to the kingdom. Yeah, well, it don't happen like that. Right? Let's go Job chapter 24 and verse 13. Do I want that? Yeah. Job 24 verse 13 says, They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer, rising with the light, killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. In the dark they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. Now we know the light has to deal with the truth. It has to deal with Yahushua, and the darkness has to deal with being in sin, right? But a lot of people feel like no one sees them, but we have to understand that what's done in the dark comes to light, correct? Let's get Psalms chapter 10 and verse 11. Psalm 10 and 11 says, he hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. Right? We think that the Most High, or I ain't going to say we, because a lot of people in this class probably don't think this way, right? We understand that the Most High ain't letting nothing slide. You're not letting nothing slide. Just because you think that you're getting away with it doesn't mean that you are. You know what I mean? Punishment doesn't have to be expedient. It can be 5 years from now. You think you got away with it. Nah, probably not. You see what I'm saying? Probably not. And that's just the truth. But a lot of people think that they are getting away with it. Like they're covering something up. You know what I'm saying? And what they covered up was good enough. Nah, yeah, that's not going to happen. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 3. Book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 3. Salah. Yeah, let me see something. Okay. Book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 3 says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So the Most High sees everything, whether it's good or evil, no matter what. Whether it's good or evil, the Most High sees everything. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, a lot of people do wicked, and then they think they can slide past judgment. Or if you're Esau, you think you can go against the judgment, go against the Most High, so on and so forth. And this is how these people think, right? So we went through a couple of scriptures just to show how people think, and and we see that you can't hide anything from the Most High, correct? So here's another thing. This is what they're doing. They have what you call, there we go, billionaire bunkers. All right. So billionaire bunkers is something that people are buying into, underground bunkers, so on and so forth, right? And this is just an AI overview. I didn't want to get into like every little detail. I just want to touch on it, right? So it says billionaire bunkers are high security luxury underground shelters designed for the ultra wealthy to survive catastrophic events. What is some of the catastrophic events, right? The Most High is going to cause destruction, right? Nuclear war, so on and so forth, right? This place got to burn. So these billionaire bunkers is supposed to protect them from these events, right? So it says, with many tech leaders reportedly building them in remote locations like New Zealand and Hawaii, these fortified multi-million-dollar 10-12 complexes offer 10-12 amenities like gyms, cinemas, designed as apocalypse insurance against AI risk, pandemics, and nuclear war. You see that? So these people believe that they can avoid these types of judgments. You see what I'm saying? Because when these types of judgments come, that's coming from the Most High. It doesn't matter. If you just look at it as a what is it? You take it from face value and you're like, oh yeah, we're about to go to war with other countries and so on and so on. You see what I'm saying? So they're just looking at it as people. No, the Most High is causing all this. He's the cause and effect. You see what I'm saying? He the one sending them spirits down here to tell these people what to do and how to move. You see that? Salakia, one moment. Salakia. Yeah, so he's telling them what to do. We already know that prophecy comes and there's going to be wars and rumors of wars and so on, and we'll get to that too. Right? So these people, these Edomites, and whoever else, it's not even just Edomites. There was like a list of names when I was digging through it. It was like Shaq has a billionaire bunker, you know what I'm saying? This are our people too. I don't know why people think they're going to escape judgment. It's not a thing. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. Who's building them? Tech billionaires in Silicon Valley elite are leading the trend, with reports citing Mark Zuckerberg building a 1,400-acre compound with a 10-12 bunker in Kauai. LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman estimated that over 50% of Silicon Valley's wealthiest have apocalypse insurance. All right. This is crazy. Why they build them? These 10-12 shelters are designed for safety against disasters, including climate change, societal collapse, whatever, however you say that, and nuclear 10-12 tensions. They also represent a 10-12 status symbol to maintain a high standard of living, 10-12, during a crisis. Right? And then it gives you a couple locations where some of them are at, cost, trends, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Right? So these people think that they can escape apocalypse or whatever the case, whatever you want to call it. They think that they can escape it. This is crazy. Right? I don't know why people always try to challenge the Most High. Me and Mike Allah in Detroit did a class called Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God. Salakia. Your arms are too short to box with God. And you ain't that good at hide and go seek. You see what I'm saying? You ain't that good at hide and go seek. Most High gonna find you out no matter what. Right? Now, let's see. What can these billionaire bunkers? There we go. What can these billionaire bunkers withstand? Right. This is the hopes. Okay, that the billionaire bunkers can survive what is a catastrophic events, apocalypse insurance, so on and so forth. Right. So let's get another overview. Billionaire bunkers are high-end fortified shelters designed to withstand extreme disasters, including near-miss nuclear blasts, chemical biological attacks, electromagnetic pulses, and severe natural disasters like earthquakes or floods. Built with reinforced concrete and steel, they offer long-term self-sufficient survival via advanced air filtration, water purification, and renewable energy. Nuclear explosions, they are designed to withstand significant shock waves, with some engineered to survive a blast 1 mile from ground zero. However, they are not designed to withstand a direct hit. So if it can't withstand a direct hit, I don't know how you think you're safe. Who's to say that you won't get directly hit? Who's to say that you're going to duck and dodge what the Most High brings down? You see what I'm saying? You got, like, these people are putting a lot of faith in themselves. But these be the same people sometimes that swear that they believe in the Most High. They're Christians. They pay tithes and, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. You know, um, so they're sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. Right? Chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. These shelters feature airtight seals and advanced industrial grade filtration systems to keep out toxins and radiation. Physical attacks and intrusion. High end custom features often include 24/7 surveillance, biometric entry, massive blast proof doors, water cannons, and in extreme designs, defensive systems like flamethrowers. Natural disasters. They are built to withstand severe weather events such as tornadoes, hurricanes, and earthquakes. All right, so some of these is underground, right? So they're built to withstand earthquakes, but we'll see about that. Structural failures. Many are constructed 30 to 40 feet below ground in bedrock or within former hardened Cold War era missile silos, providing massive structural resilience. Right? So now these things come with like solar panels, wind turbines, you know what I mean, fuel supplies, so all this stuff like that. Hydroponics, you know what I mean, so they can have gardens and everything like that. It sounds good, it sounds nice, you know what I mean, but the things that they're trying to prepare for, you can only prepare so much. Because like I said, you're not gonna get away. There is no getting away with it. You see what I'm saying? There is no getting away. Now, it said that it's built to withstand earthquakes, right? So I asked Google about volcanoes because you see that wasn't mentioned. Now, a lot of volcanoes, especially in America, are underground, right? Ain't like Hawaii or something where it's just up top and blows up and melts everything. But a lot of volcanoes are underground. Matter of fact, let me see, Colorado, Wyoming is sitting on a big volcano, as a matter of fact, and that's only 2 hours away. You see what I'm saying? Uh, I forget what it's called. I think it's called Yellowstone. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so Wyoming's sitting on a volcano. Now, I asked and wanted to see if volcanoes can affect these bunkers, right? So, can volcanoes melt billionaire bunkers? It says yes. A volcanic eruption has the potential to destroy or render uninhabitable and ultra hardened multi-million dollar bunkers being built by billionaires despite their high-tech engineering designed to survive other catastrophes. Right? It said lava flows and heat while bunkers are designed with reinforced concrete and deep underground placement. A direct, prolonged flow of lava could melt, incinerate, or bury them. Lava reaches temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius, far exceeding the melting point of steel and the heat resistant of concrete. You see what I'm saying? So, another question that I asked, since we have an understanding that volcanoes can destroy these bunkers, right? Volcanoes can destroy these bunkers. I'll get to that. All right, volcanoes can destroy these bunkers. So I asked another question because it said that it can withstand earthquakes, right? Now, here's a dilemma. Can earthquakes cause volcanic eruptions? Yes, large earthquakes, typically magnitude 6 or higher, can trigger volcanic eruptions, generally only if the volcano is already primed or nearly ready to erupt with sufficient magma and internal pressure. Sys- Seismic, seismic waves and tectonic stress changes can act as a final trigger to release buildup magma similar to shaking a soda bottle, right? So it can withstand an earthquake, but the effects of the earthquake could be detrimental to these things, right? When the flood came with Noah, it said the waters came from everywhere, right? Waters came from everywhere. Waters came from below, waters came from the windows of heaven. Con, let's go to that. Or let's just see how it came real fast. Let's go to Genesis 7. Genesis chapter 7 and verse 11. It says, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up and the windows of heaven were opened. Right? Fountains of the great deep. I don't know if that's what I wanted. Yep, that's fine. All right. So fountains of the great deep, springs, a fountain, figuratively source, satisfaction, fountain or spring or well, meaning that the waters came from below, right? So if the Most High is going to destroy with fire, and we say, okay, nuclear attacks, so on and so forth, these missiles, but look at the effects of it. You see what I'm saying? These missiles can cause enough damage, or earthquakes can cause enough disruption to bring the fire from below as well. There is no escaping this. You see what I'm saying? There's no hiding from this. You can't duck the Most High. That's not a thing. You see? That's not a thing. Right? Let's get another one in Genesis. What is it? 8, chapter 8. And verse 2. Genesis 8 and verse 2, it says, the fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. Right? Like I said, it mentions the fountains of the deep again. If you look into science, right, there's like pockets of water, right? Remember in the book of Genesis, there, like, you didn't see rain, but everything was still being watered. There was still, like pockets of water from the earth. You know what I mean? So same thing with volcanoes. This is natural in the earth. You know what I mean? It's natural. So that fire that the Most High is going to come with, it's going to be it's going to be more than just a nuclear attack. It's going to be all types of stuff. And them bunkers ain't going to save you. Right? Let's get 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 3. And verse 10. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. No, let's get this. Yeah, no, let's get 2 Peter verse 10. Okay. 2 Peter 3 and verse 10, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, with manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for a hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right? If we know we know that there's going to be a new heavens and new earth, right? How is it going to happen? Because this has to be cleansed. This has to be cleansed. So for all these rich people or whoever is getting these bunkers to try to hide from the destruction and try to hide from judgment of the Most High, that's out the window. That's out the window, right? Now we went over, we touched on volcanoes, right? And earthquakes can cause volcanic eruptions, right? Let's get Luke chapter 21 and verse 10. Luke chapter 21, verse 10 says, Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Right? So famines and pestilence, we seen that in these billionaire bunkers, that it's supposed to keep them from all this stuff. What they say, like pandemics, and it has irrigation systems and hydroponics and stuff like that, so they can grow food and so on and so on, the air filtrations and all this stuff, right? So that way they're separated from these types of things. Nah, you're not going to be, right? And it said there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, right? Earthquakes in diverse places. So just like we looked at, when it comes to fire and destroying these bunkers, and volcanic eruptions can destroy these bunkers, you're going to have earthquakes that might bring those along. This is prophecy, and you know the Most High ain't slack on his word. Right? Now we understand the judgment starts with us, right? 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17 says, For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh? You see what I'm saying? Their destruction is way worse. Their punishment is way worse. You see what I'm saying? Way worse. Fine with me. You know what I mean? It's fine with me. Right? So we understand that there's going to be fervent heat. Things are going to melt away. The Most High is going to destroy this with fire. All right, let's get Psalms 46 and verse 6. The heathen rage, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, and the earth melted. Right? Remember when we were in the wilderness and Israel wanted to hear the Most High, all they heard was like destruction, thunders and earthquakes and lightning, and they were scared. So how much more worse is it when he casts judgment on these other nations, and they think they're going to just hide from them, or they think they're going to war with them? These people are crazy, man. Verse 8, Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Right? This is crazy because a lot of these bunkers, right, is in certain places. And a lot of these things is Americans believing that they can just slide with it, you know what I mean? And they could get away with just anything. Why? Because they are, what is Jeremiah? They are the hammer. That's what it is. They're the hammer, right? Americans think that this place cannot be destroyed. What is that? Jeremiah 50. You know, we'll go back to this. We'll come back to that. Let's go to Amos. Amos chapter 9 and verse 5. Amos chapter 9, verse 5, it says, And the Lord God of hosts is he that toucheth the land, and it shall melt, and all that dwell therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up wholly like a flood, and shall be drowned as by the flood of Egypt. See that? Salaki. Like I said, it's no escape, right? He's talking about everything, everyone, right? Everyone has to see this. Everyone got to go through this. It's not, you're not ducking it, right? Let's drop down verse 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. Right? And we understand that when it's talking about hills a lot of times and mountains, that it's talking about different nations, right? It's talking about people. Remember, what is it called? Anthropomorphosis, where it uses objects or animals or something like that to describe people, and things. So, this is a description of what's going on. Everyone's going to see this destruction, right? Let's get Nahum chapter 1. Nahum chapter 1 and verse 5 says, the mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Now, this prophecy says that all that dwell therein, right? So everyone who has this type of judgment coming, there is no escaping it. Like you're not gonna buy or hitchhike your way into the kingdom. That's not a thing. Your judgment, if you have a judgment coming, that it's just coming. You know what I mean? Same with us. Same with Israel. If we have a certain judgment upon us, then that's just what it is. Only difference is we have the opportunity to repent and reconcile with the Most High. These people don't. You know what I mean? These people don't. Not at all. Let's get Isaiah 64 and verse 2. Isaiah 64 verse 2 says, as when the melting fire burneth, the fire causeth the waters to boil, to make thy name known to thy adversaries, that the nations may tremble at thy presence. You see, it's like the same as Nebuchadnezzar, right? When certain things happened with Nebuchadnezzar, he was like, oh, let's follow the God of Daniel. You see what I'm saying? Most High made himself be known, right? Same in Egypt. He made himself be known to us. All the stuff, all the plagues that was going on in Egypt, you know what I mean? He was making himself known to us. He was showing us his power and his glory, right? Because remember, Pharaoh was like, man, take your people. Most High kept hardening his heart so he can show his power to us. Same thing is going to happen, right? Now, I asked another thing to AI or to Google. War to come in America, right? War to come in America. Okay. What do I want? Okay. Right here it says, as of February 2026, reports indicate heightened tensions with Iran. U.S. officials discussing potential airstrikes and joint actions with Israel, suggesting a significant risk of escalating conflict in the Middle East. Concurrently, the U.S. is engaged in long-term intense competition with China, raising concerns about potential great power, technology, and conventional warfare, right? Let's just drop down. Because we understand that there's going to be rumors of war, right? And remember, these things are the beginning of sorrows. So there's rumors of war. Here's something that America really fears: civil war risk. Despite political polarization, national surveys in 2023 and 2024 showed that only a very small percentage of Americans strongly believe a civil war is imminent or necessary. You see what I'm saying? The things that's going on in America, a lot of people are starting to look at there's going to be a civil war that's going to happen, right? Going to be a civil war that's happening. So in the meantime, with this civil war building up, these people are going to be trying to run to their bunkers, right? They're going to be trying to hide. Here's the problem. How do you know when to run to your bunker? Look at how stuff progresses. There's no time limit. There's no time frame on when anything is going to happen. So how do you know when to go to your bunker? Who's to say you're going to make it to your bunker? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that? So another question I asked, and I'm not going to put which camp used to say that. Maybe some of y'all know. But there was a camp that used to say to leave America so you can avoid, the destruction, the judgment. Because we understand that America is Babylon. We understand that there's this spiritual Sodom in Egypt. We understand these things, right? So there was a camp that used to tell their camp to leave America to avoid that type of judgment. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Remember, we're scattered across four corners of the earth. I don't know why people think that all the prophecies just apply to America. We're all over the earth. Why would it just apply just to America? Doesn't make sense, right? There's stuff going on in other countries and stuff like that that still applies to what is written. You just might not know it because you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? We don't see it all the time. It's not in our face. So we don't think that it's happening. We're just looking at right here. Nah, we're scattered abroad. Okay. So what I looked up was, will leaving America save you? Right? So, and like I said, some of these I just get a quick overview because I want to see what information AI gathers and puts together, right? It says leaving America can save you by offering a lower cost of living, reduced healthcare expenses, better work-life balance, and increased safety. Increased safety. What nation gives a damn about Israelites? Let's be honest. Remember, every other nation has a hand in our destruction. You know what I'm saying? So where can we go to run to where we're just safe from everything? That's not a thing, right? Increased safety, particularly for retirees or remote workers looking to escape high U.S. expenses and social tension. However, it's not a guaranteed fix. It involves navigating complex bureaucracy, leaving behind social support networks, and potentially earning lower wages. Lower cost of living is one thing that they say is beneficial. Improved well-being, healthcare, retirement options. The challenges to consider: cultural and social adjustments, legal and bureaucratic hurdles, career limitations, loss of support system, right? So at the same time, these people will tell you, oh yeah, it's beneficial. But then they'll turn around and say, well, you might as well stay here. And like I said, there was a camp that actually tell their congregation to leave, which is crazy. I don't know why people think that judgment is only going to happen to America. That's nuts. All right. So another thing that I looked up, right? I looked up what's the darkest periods of history, of American history, right? Because we've seen that people are scared of, they're trying to avoid pestilence, famines, destruction, civil war. You see? So I just looked up like some of the darkest periods in American history. All right. Darkest period in American history, the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. Right? Widely regarded as the darkest period in U.S. history, characterized by brother fighting brother, over 600,000 deaths, and the existential threat to the nation. Other frequently cited low points include slavery, the Great Depression, and 1919 Red Summer. Right? Civil War, regarded as the most devastating conflict, with 1862 often cited as the darkest year due to intense bloody battles like, and I don't know what that says, Antietam, I don't know how to say that. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all can see it. Slavery, Great Depression. Initiated by the 1929 stock market crash, this period saw widespread poverty, unemployment, economic collapse, right? Remember, these bunkers is supposed to save them from these types of things: poverty, unemployment, economic collapse, so on and so forth, right? We have to remember that the Most High fights different. It doesn't have to be a physical war. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a physical war. Poverty is a way that the Most High can fight. Bugs is a way that the Most High can fight. Famine, you know what I'm saying? What if you get down into these bunkers and your crops ain't growing properly because it doesn't have the proper environment? You know what I'm saying? Now you rationing in what you thought was going to work out for you. You know what I mean? Red Summer, 1919, a wave of white supremacist violence and race riots across dozens of U.S. cities. We see that happening, especially with that red man, what elders I've called him, that orange man. You know what I'm saying? This on the panel, right? Especially with him, we could see white supremacy come out. It's more bold when he's in office, right? And that's cool. I'd rather it be bold. I'd rather it be in my face anyway. You know what I mean? Don't try to hide and sneak me. You know what I mean? Never trust your enemies, right? Another one, the Trail of Tears, the forced relocation of Cherokee people resulting in over 4,000 deaths. I'm quite sure that it's way more than that. Right? 1960s, marked by major assassinations, MLK, RFK, Vietnam War, intense civil unrest. Revolutionary War crisis, 1776, the low point of the war, where the survival of the new nation was in severe doubt. All these things are considered the darkest periods in American history. This is just America. You know what I mean? So all of these things, what makes people think that some of these won't happen again? You know, like they say, history repeats itself. You know what I mean? If they try to put a lot of our people into like chattel slavery right now, there goes your civil war. If the market crashes right now, you know what I mean? We see how currency is going We see how this AI stuff is working, that technology, stuff like that, right? Uh, so these things can cause something similar to the Great Depression, right? So, like I said, at what point do you run to your bunker and try to avoid all this? What point are you hiding from the Most High? It ain't gonna happen, right? Let's go to. Let me put it on screen. Let's go to the Book of Psalms. Book of Psalms, chapter 139. And we'll start at verse 7. Book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 7 says, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee." Like I said, ain't no hiding from the Most High. He just said whether he's in heaven or hell, in darkness or light, the Most High is still there. You can't hide. So I don't give a damn if you got a bunker, if I know a lot of our people, we talk about if something kicks off, for us to have like a location to where we all can gather. That's not us hiding from the Most High. That's us trying to get away from, what's going on over here, so it stays away from us, right? These people are trying to hide from the Most High's judgment. That's not going to happen. There's a difference in what we're talking about doing as opposed to what they're actually trying to do. You know what I mean? You have different things, right? You have Space Force, to where they think they're going to fight the Most High because they know chariots are going to come. You know what I mean? You have certain things in play to where they try to eliminate the Most High, cloning, AI, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Certain parts of science, to where they try to eliminate the Most High as much as they can, but you can't do it. You can't do it. Let's go to the book of Job 34. Wait, is that what I want? Yeah. Job 34. Job 34 and verse 21. Says, "For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves." Like I said, a lot of these people reap the benefits of their fathers, of them killing our people, enslaving our people. What did they do? Take this country, if we focus on America, you know what I'm saying? Take this country by force, by disease, by, rape, robbery, everything, you know what I mean? And these people are still reaping the benefits of that. So there is no hiding, right? Job is saying that right now. Oops, I don't even have that on here. Let's get. There we go. Okay. Let's get the book of Sirach, right? Because Job just said there's no hiding. So let's get the book of Sirach. And we all know this one, right? Chapter 23 and verse 19. The book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 19 says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. He knew all things ere ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon all them. He looked upon them all, Salakia. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspecteth not, he shall be taken. Right? So while these people feel like they're comfortable in what they're doing, trying to hide, trying to get these bunkers, trying to escape America, to avoid judgment, to avoid destruction, to avoid certain things, you're not. You're not going to. You're there. If, like I said, if judgment is upon you, you can't run from that. You know what I mean? Remember, he says that every hair on your head is accounted for. So what makes you think you'll escape anything? Right? Let's get the book of Proverbs. Chapter 5. No, 5. Yep. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 21 says, "For the ways of men are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray." Right? So the Most High sees all of this. Remember, Sirach just said, Most High eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So the Most High sees everything. You're not getting away with anything. Let's get Jeremiah 16. Jeremiah 16, verse 17. Says, "For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face. Neither is there iniquity hid from my eyes." You see, so the Most High tells the prophets what to tell us, right? So he's telling Jeremiah, I see it all. I see it all. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the prophets were to prophesy against Babylon. They're to prophesy against Nineveh. They're to prophesy against Israel. You see what I'm saying? Daniel was interpreting dreams for Nebuchadnezzar, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So the Most High is showing that he sees everything, whether they belong to him or not. He sees it all. Right? Let's go back to Amos 8. No, Amos 9. I should have just read this earlier, but it's all good. Amos 9 and verse 8 says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord." Right? We're to be saved. Other nations, he said that they'll be destroyed from off the face of the earth. And we know that if they're not completely destroyed, that they'll be subject to us. We know that, per Isaiah 14, right? We know that. So either way, these people receive judgment, no matter what. No matter what. Let's go Jeremiah chapter 50 again. And we'll start at verse 1. It says, "The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet." All right, so we understand that some of these prophecies have they're dual prophecies, right? So Jeremiah may be speaking to speaking about Babylon at that time, but we understand that was Neo-Babylon, but the Babylon now, it still has the same effect, right? Verse 2 says, "Declare ye among the nations and publish, and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Merodach is is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. Right? For out of the north there came, Salakia, there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Right? Babylon was at the top. You see what I'm saying? Babylon was a strong force, a powerful nation, a powerful people. You know what I'm saying? It had Nebuchadnezzar at the top ruling. You know what I mean? And the Most High brought it down. So even if people focus just solely on America when it comes to scripture, understand that this is this new age Babylon, and it has to be brought down. So ain't no escaping, ain't no hiding. You're not going to just sit in Babylon as a Babylonian and just slide past. I don't know why people think this. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? What else do I want? Oh, chapter 51. That's what I wanted. Jeremiah 51, and we'll start at verse 1, right? It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, and a destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Fanners is speaking of scattering. Strangers, right? Different people, be one alienated, commit adultery, hence to be a foreigner, stranger, or profane, right? And it says that they will fan. That is to, there it goes. There it goes. To scatter, right? So the Most High is like, Babylon, I will send certain people and they will break y'all apart, basically. You see what I'm saying? To disperse, spread, scattered. You see what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about. Okay. Verse 3. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, whatever that says, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. Right? So there's a judgment for Babylon, right? Like I said, this is a twofold judgment. Every judgment isn't just for that period of time. Every prophecy, isn't just for that period of time. It continues on. Remember, things work in a cycle. Remember, Solomon said that there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. So everything works in a cycle, right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 2 and 36. Okay. So a lot of these countries, a lot of these nations want to be superpowers, right? America, China, Russia, so on and so on. Okay. They want to be superpowers. They are some of the main ones that work against the Most High. You know, these underground bunkers, trying to preserve themselves so they can skip past judgment and so on and so forth, right? So right here in verse 36, we have Babylon. Okay, this is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. Right now, we're talking about the statue that Daniel, the statue that Daniel seen. Right. So Babylon is the head of gold. Like I said, Nebuchadnezzar was in rulership alone. You know what I mean? He didn't split power. He didn't do any of that. Right. So Babylon was like a superpower, right? Medo-Persia is next. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth, right? Medo-Persia has a split rulership. I remember me and Michael Allah was talking about that, and I was telling him about this statue. Every element gets weaker and weaker when you look at this statue that Daniel had a dream about. You know what I'm saying? That Daniel's interpreting. Rome is, then we'll go to, and Greece. So you have Medo-Persia, and then you have Greece, and then you have Rome, right? The fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with merry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Right? So you have these captivities that we are in, these superpowers that are in rulership, so on and so forth. Right? So the same, we can look at America the same way. All right, we can look at America the same way. We can look at how Americans, like Pharaoh and like Nebuchadnezzar, since they were in power, they felt like it was all them, right? So the Most High had to bring them down. Same thing here. So why they think that they're escaping or hiding judgment of the Most High. And a lot of these people don't even believe in the Most High anyway. So while they're living their life like they're the ones the cause of whatever's going on in their life, and no glory goes to the Most High, understand this is going to be brought down. All right. Now let's go to verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, Most High is not slack on his word. So while people are hiding or trying to escape America or whatever, the judgment is set. I keep telling people, your free will ain't free like you think. This is already laid out. We're just going through the motions. This is set in place. You know what I'm saying? This is set in place. So these nations, they have to be brought down. Whether you hiding or not, has to be brought down. Right? So let's think about it. So when you have these superpowers, so to speak, Babylon, what happened with Babylon? Fall of Babylon, right? Let's just read this part. Fall of Babylon occurred in 539 BC when the Persian Empire conquered the Neo-Babylonian Empire. The success of the Persian campaign led by Cyrus the Great brought an end to the reign of last native dynasty of Mesopotamia and gave the Persians control over the rest of the Fertile Crescent. You see what I'm saying? So Babylon was conquered. See that? Babylon was conquered. Who else? Who else was there? Medo-Persia, right? So, who conquered Medo-Persia? Alexander the Great conquered the Medo-Persian Empire between 334 BC and 331 BC. His victory at the Battle of Gaugamela, whatever, in 331 BC effectively ended the rule of Darius III, last Persian emperor, and marked the collapse of the empire, right? So Medo-Persia was conquered. And then you have Greece, right? So you got Greece. It says Greece in the Roman era describes a period of ancient Greece, as well as the Greek people and the areas they inhabited and ruled historically from the Roman Republic's conquest of mainland Greece in 146 BC until the division of the Roman Empire in late antiquity. It covers the periods when Greece was dominated first by the Roman Republic and then by the Roman Empire, right? I'm not going to go too much into detail on that. So there was a triumvirate, right, where you had two Greeks and a Roman, and that Roman had those two Greeks killed, and then Rome became an empire after the triumvirate, right? But they actually ruled at the same time. That's why you see in history it's called the Greco-Roman Empire at first, and then it became the Roman Empire, okay? And Rome took over. This is why even though we're in Rome, even though we're in the Roman captivity, we still fell under Greek customs because it merged into Rome anyway, because they ruled together at a point. All right. That's why I did that class one time, like, are you still a Greek? Because even though it's Rome, they still follow Greek customs. But you see that Rome took over. So that superpower is gone now too. Now, when you look at Rome, right? Rome, so Byzantine Empire, you know, this is where a lot of ministry was at, right? Byzantine Empire. Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire. Okay, make sure y'all can see it. Also known as the Eastern Roman Empire, was the continuation of the Roman Empire centered on Constantinople. I don't never know how to say that name. Constantinople, whatever. During late antiquity and the Middle Ages, having survived the events that caused the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. It endured until the fall of you know what it is, to the Ottoman Empire. The term Byzantine Empire was coined only after its demise. Its citizens used the term Roman Empire and called themselves Romans, right? But Rome fell to the Ottoman Empire, right? So all of these empires, all of these superpowers and stuff like that, these captivities that we're in, they had to fall. So this captivity that we're in, it has to fall, right? What happened after Rome fell? We had the Dark Ages. This is when we ruled in Europe and so on and so forth, right? They call it, you know, some refer to it as the Middle Ages because they don't want our people to know that we was the one in rulership at that time. All right. So the Dark Ages is where we ruled. Now, what did you have after that? You had the Renaissance, right? The Renaissance was a fervent period of European culture, artistic, political, scientific rebirth following the Middle Ages. Originating in Florence, Italy, it was fueled by a rediscovery of classical Greek and Roman philosophy. God, Elder God, the what? Um, Literature and art. Key figures like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo transformed Western thought, placing humanity at the center of the universe, a philosophy known as humanism. Right? So, what is the Renaissance? Renaissance is a rebirth of Rome. If we look at America right now, what is the symbol for, or what is the symbol or animal that Rome used? An eagle. What does America use? An eagle. Rome had a senate. What does America have? A senate. You see what I'm saying? Like everything, this is a rebirth. This captivity that we're in is like all of the captivities rolled up in one. So it has to fall. So it doesn't matter if people try to hide. It doesn't matter if people try to escape and leave and stuff like that. You are a part of this. It got to fall. It got to go. Right? It has to go. Let's get Malachi. Malachi chapter 1. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. If he has indignation forever against these people, Edom, what makes you think you're going to hide and that you're just going to slide with all the things that you've done to our people? Nope, you got to answer for that. You got to answer for that, right? Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 8 and verse 17. Book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17 says, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. Manifestation, manifest means to be made known. All right. Neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. You see that? So Yahushua is telling them right here that nothing is hidden. It has to be made known. So I don't give a dang about your bunkers. Neither do the Most High. Right? Let's get Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. Revelation 18 and verse 2 says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right? This is after Jeremiah, correct? So this is not talking about Neo-Babylon. This is talking about the Babylon now. Right? Let's get chapter 8. Revelation 8 and verse 11. Revelation 8 and verse 11. Now, we understand that these bunkers have filtration systems, hydroponics, so on and so forth, right? These people are trying to avoid pestilence. So disease and, what did we have? COVID, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff, right? These people are trying to avoid that. So Revelation chapter 8 verse 11 says, and the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter, right? I want to see if this is going to give me what I want in the Greek. It's not. So wormwood has to do with like a poison. So that wormwood is polluting the waters. So if the waters is polluted, is their filtration system going to matter? You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, the Most High fights different. He don't have to fight you like you think he's going to fight you. You know what I mean? He can do simple stuff. He can take his time killing you. It doesn't, you can just suffer for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is set in place to where he has to do it a certain way. Nah. Let's get the book of Luke. Did I go Luke? Nope. Luke chapter 12, verse 2 says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetop." You see what I'm saying? It's going to be revealed, and this is Yahushua speaking. It's going to be revealed. Yahushua is telling you that the Most High, you're not going to hide anything from the Most High. It's going to come out. You know what I'm saying? Even if, I say this all the time, like, you know, a lot of us use a representative like when we're in public, when we're at work, so on and so forth. You're not really yourself, right? You try to keep a professionalism and stuff like that, right? So you're using some sort of cover. Eventually, you got to reveal yourself. All it takes is a situation, a certain comment, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You're going to reveal yourself. It has to come out, no matter what. No matter what, right? Let's get the book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 26. Matthew chapter 10, verse 26 says, "Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known." Right? So, and I keep saying this, like you can't hide. There's no hiding. You might as well just be as honest as possible, because you're not going to hide anything from the Most High. You know, and I'm going to say this because this goes for Israel especially. Well, that's my concern. I don't give a damn what these other nations do. You know what I'm saying? They already got something coming. But as far as us, as far as Israel, be honest. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to hide. Stop trying to hide from the Most High. Stop trying to hide from your brothers and sisters. Just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because even though you're trying to hide and you lying to your brothers and sisters, the Most High sees you doing that. So you're really not hiding nothing. Right? Let's go 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 13. 1 Corinthians 3 and 13 says, "Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is." Right? In order for us to be cleansed, we have to go through the fire. Correct? So your works are going to be tried. You're going to be put to the test. You're going to be pushed to the limit. That's just what it is. But that's for our benefit, not them. Their fire is going to be terrible. Our fire is proving us and making us better. You know what I'm saying? Now, not for all of us. Some of us, we're gonna receive that too. Some of us gonna receive it too. Right? Let's go chapter 4 and verse 5. 1 Corinthians 4 and verse 5 says, "Therefore judge nothing before the time until the Lord come, who both will bring to the light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. And then shall every man have praised God." Right? So I know that a lot of us is like, "Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait till this happen. I can't wait till that happen." Let's be honest. Are you ready right now? You sure? Or do you think you need a little bit more time to get a little bit more better and a little bit more reconciliation with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So don't judge, don't judge prematurely. You know what I'm saying? There'll be a time for it. All right. Let's get Revelation chapter 20. And we only got a few more. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12. It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. And the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. Right? So these other nations, even though they have no doings with the kingdom and salvation, doesn't matter. Remember, good and evil are judged based on the same merits, on the same books, same laws, so on and so forth. Same thing. So according to their works, so all those other nations, doesn't matter, because according to their works and their forefathers and so on and so forth, they're still going to be judged and punished behind what they do. All right. Just like Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 14. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 14 says, for God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil, right? With every secret thing. So like I said, you're not hiding. You're not hiding. Understand that these angels have to report back to the Most High. They got to report back to Yahushua. Yahushua got to report back to the Most High. Same with your prayers. It goes through different stages, right? Let's go Romans chapter 14. Romans chapter 14, verse 11. For it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me and every tongue shall confess. So when you're in this bunker and you think you've escaped the disasters, the nuclear war, the pestilence, the famine, and then you come up out of that bunker or whatever the case may be, you are still going to be subject unto the Lord. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You're not exempt. Doesn't matter what you do. You ain't exempt, right? Let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 72 and verse 11. Psalm 72 and verse 11 says, yeah, all kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him, right? All nations. All nations. Doesn't matter who. Right? Doesn't matter who. Oh yeah. It says it is written, right? That last one that I went to, Romans chapter 14, verse 11. And I'll show you where it's written. It's Isaiah 45 and verse 23. Okay. Isaiah 45, verse 23 says, I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Right? This is where it's written. All right. So we got to understand that there's no escape, right? And I'm going to just go to this just to put a smile on your face, and we'll end it here. It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 17. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So when all this is said and done, I don't give a damn about your bunkers. I don't care how you think you're going to escape or hide from the Most High. It's over for you people. right? God, you know what I'm saying? Yep, it's over for you people. So I'll end it right there. Throw one in the chat for me if you were edified. Like I said, main thing is there is no hiding from the Most High. And everybody has to know that. Khan, that one. Khan Tawada Aqua. Tawada. Khan, all praises. All praise. All right. Well, I'm glad y'all was edified. Like I said earlier, tune in to tomorrow's class with Detroit. I know them brothers gonna bring it out. And then tune in to Saturday's class. Lord's will, y'all make it to that one as well. Man, keep in mind we got Passover coming soon. Well, we got about a month left. Barely over a month, something like that. You know what I mean? A month and a couple of days. So all praises and glory to the Most High. Like I said, tune into these classes. I'm glad that y'all tune in every week. All praises to the Most High. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatham, Washamaratham. And with that, I will say, Shalom.
We send them prayers up. And then the blessings come down. Yeah. Let's get it. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. If you say you're a king, you gotta have the standards. I say that I pray when I don't have the answers. Don't know the way, then prayer has to come in. It's okay to pray and don't ask for nothing. Ready for war, but I pray for peace. Know the book says, don't let your prayers cease. Pray for the strength to pray for enemies. Pray to forget these childhood memories. But all these 11s is the wrong shoes any day. Cowboys team, man, you're gonna lose anyway. Don't come for me, sorry, I don't got a team. Can't be MLK if I never said I got a dream. I pray to Yahweh that he bless you. I pray that you pass, cause life will test you. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. Yahweh Shai came so he could feed his people. Solomon prayed that he could lead his people. Wise as he was, he didn't see the evil. I pray for the day Yahweh frees the people. Babylon the Great breaking all walls down. Kanye's song, when it all falls down. I pray every day, that's a part of me, that we all celebrate like classic R&B. Cool in this gang, there's so many speakers. I pray that you learn, we have so many teachers. I pray for the kingdom, cause it needs to come. I pray for Isaiah 14:1. Always be thankful, what my lady said. Don't ask for much, just my daily bread. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. We send the prayers up. and then the blessings come down. Prayer's y'all weapon, y'all. Make sure you pray every single day. Don't just ask for things, but pray to the Most High to deliver us.